Here we are, Whiskey Advent Calendar, day 10. We have some interesting things. We finally got to Ireland. We've done bourbon now. We've done a bunch of malts. We did a blend. Who knows what the day holds? We are going through the Master of Malt's Premium Whiskey Advent Calendar. They've got like 20 versions now. Makes it really hard to all do something together, but you know, we do what we can. As before, I'm going in blind. I have them taped over so I won't know what they are. There's a piece of paper, there it is, in the box that I can pull when I'm ready to know. Glassware. That's helpful. And then I'm going to write down everything that I'm experiencing and try as much as I can to not come to a conclusion until after I've done that. All right, lighter. Again, with who knows, if it's Scotch, color doesn't necessarily mean anything, but it could. Right-handed. Really should pour these differently. Nose. Oh. Malty and funky. Slight smoke. So a lot of barley and a lot of funk. The kind of funk that makes me think of like a blended Scotch. But there's no sharpness, so I'm not smelling what that vanilla icing that I get from a grain whiskey, but it is reminding me a little of Monkey Shoulder. It's not Monkey Shoulder, but you know, there's this like really dense butterscotchy malt direction in Monkey Shoulder. It's got that dense butterscotch. Reminds me a little bit of Cardew and Glenrothes bourbon cask. I feel like there's smoke in there. More than I'm getting. I might need to let this sit for just a second. I'm going to refill my water. You guys are going to come back right after this. Yeah, there is a smokiness to this that's like way back there. But it's very malty. I wonder if it's a single malt. I mean, I first said blend, but maybe it's just a really like big brand single malt where there's so many barrels that it feels kind of... So here's what, when I'm experiencing a blend, I always, not always, Compass Box is an exception to this rule, but if I'm talking a big brand blend, from this back section right here, right, your Dewar's, your Chivas, your Johnnie Walker, which we already did a Johnnie Walker, Cuddy Stark, Grand Par, Grouse, there's this sense of like big categorical flavors, but like nothing on the second tier. And in my brain, when I taste a blend, everything lives in these big hierarchical categories. And I don't pick out the little subtle, interesting, individual, unique notes. Like yesterday, there was like berries and cream and like a chocolate and espresso and like a dark fruit and like a fainty almond. And like all of that complexity, I don't normally get that in a blend. And what I'm smelling on the nose is it's really malty, but it's also living up here in this big categorical instead of subtlety and nuance. And I have experienced that with things like Glenfiddich and Glenlivet, 12 and 10 or 12 respectively. And it's in that direction that I'm getting this sort of, homogeneous is the wrong word, but yeah, I mean, I can't say it better. It's living up here instead of down into the details. My brain says blend, but I have experienced that with large brands, easily accessible. It's not Glenfiddich, there's no smoke in it. It could be a Glenmorangie or a Glenlivet direction. I would be really surprised if they put, you know, Glenmorangie 10 in this. But then again, they did Johnnie Walker Gold, and they have done some big brand single malts like that. Talisker's a little out there, but I could be argued that this was in the butterscotch direction of Glenmorangie. Not Livet. There's no in Glenlivet, I always get this sort of like barrel spice with the vanilla that's not in there. But yeah, it could be a big brand malt. Oh, nope. This is a blend. Here's why. I get nothing but sweetness and then a little ashy finish. And in all of those big brands, sometimes the nose washes out, but when you get into the palate, there is actually a journey in the palate in those things. A blend, budget, big brand blend, not budget, but big brand. I often have that experience in the palate where it just sort of homogenizes into this general Scotch sweetness, and then if you have smoke in it, which this does, then it just has this ashy finish or a smoky finish, or it just lingers with the phenolic notes. And now that I come back to it, that phenolic light distant smoke is in the nose, gently. It's still malty as crap, and I'm not getting any grain whiskey notes. Maybe that's why my brain said monkey shoulder. It's not monkey shoulder, though. It's not even smoky monkey. Maybe it's one of the blended malts from like Douglas Lang. Oh, maybe it's a Douglas Lang. I don't know. The Douglas Langs I've had have been a lot more drama in the palate. Naked Grouse was smoky and ashy. I wonder if it's Naked Grouse. We'll compare it to something after we find out what it is. Let's see what it is. Oh man, it's Johnnie Walker Green again. Okay, well, I would never have guessed Johnnie Walker Green because we already did a Johnnie Walker. It is all malt, so that's in our favor. It's older. I think Johnnie Walker Green's 15 years old. J.W. Green, 15. It is all malt, as we said. So what's another? I would never have guessed. I don't have a good, solid memory. We did get blend, though. My memory is that Naked Grouse was a little smoky, and I liked it, but it also had that ashy finish. So let's see how the Naked Grouse compares to the Johnnie Walker Green, which has always, actually, I think I've always said the Johnnie Walker Green's my favorite Johnnie Walker. You know, for what it's worth. Okay, it's way more oak and ash on the Naked Grouse. The nose of the Johnnie Walker, way more floral and heather and sweetness. I like the nose on the Johnnie Walker Green better. The Naked Grouse is good, but it's a little oaky, a little bit too ashy. Ashy is the wrong word. A lot of vanilla. All right, and real quick, we'll do that first. Naked Grouse. Yeah, it is. There's more wood and ash on the palate of the Naked Grouse. In the Johnnie Walker Green, it just goes simple vanilla sweetness and then ends with a ashy note. I like the palate of Naked Grouse better, but the nose of Johnnie Walker Green better. So there you go. Interesting. 2 Johnnie Walkers. I don't know why that surprises me, but it does surprise me. But there you go. We got like 30 advent calendars. That's a lot of whiskey to fill. All right. Either way, we'll see you tomorrow, and I'm really glad you're here. Cheers.